Hi, I'm Chachi over here at Shed Barbershop in Austin, Texas. I'm here with my boy Eric Bandholz. We're gonna do a real sick shear cut today. I'm really excited. Let's get started. So really, Eric's been growing his hair out a little bit. He's wanting to get more of just a longer, more unique style, something with lots of texture. The trend for almost a decade now has been dapper hair. And I'm really starting to see people move away from that, or at least expand on it, I should say. Whereas dapper and clean cut doesn't necessarily mean like a slicked, pompadour or a shaved in part line. It means purposeful messiness, purposeful texture. As long as stuff looks like it's done on purpose, I think it's professional. And your hair was clean coming in?
I got product in there.
That's okay. So we've got a little sea salt spray after I've saturated the hair. This is the Beardbrand Tree Ranger. And so I'm basically gonna get a little in his hair, not very much, but just some to kind of help us as a cutting agent. Since we are doing shear work, I want good tension on the hair. So just a light amount. And that's really all we need right there. So let's go ahead, make a nice horseshoe section. I know, dude, I apologize. I was just showing Eric a video that I made in Denver this weekend of me cutting a friend's hair, and I had to do everything on a tripod. So you really don't see much of what happens on the top.
Yeah, man. Usually I film the guys doing the horseshoe, and I'm okay. I don't even see what's right now.
I'm sure the lens will make up for that, So again, just saturating the hair. Good amount of moisture to just help us keep everything in place. I do use clips, but it's not necessary as long as the hair is well saturated, and especially with a little bit of that salt spray in there beforehand, they'll help it just stay in place throughout the cut.
That's just asking to get into a fight with someone.
Cutting agents, cutting lotion, all of this pre-cut product, it's really only beneficial to stylists and barbers, for cutting the hair, which is why a lot of people don't make it or sell it or really emphasize the use of it. But it makes a difference. We'll start right here in the front. I'm just gonna take a small section, comb it forward, and then we're just gonna lightly trim along the edge, create what's called a graphic edge with the tip of the shear there. And then same thing, just real low. Right there in the sideburn. Just continue to create that graphic edge. Because we don't want it to look super clean and refined. We want it to have a bit of a textured or even lived in look to it. And we're gonna just take another section from behind the ear, comb it forward into that first section, continue to point cut. And we're just gonna continue in this fashion, over directing to the previous section. And because we are trying to preserve the length there in the nape, I'm just going to section everything really right above that and cut that, and then we'll connect the lengthen the nape later with texture. And I'd also like to say I'm using Washi shears. Washi is an incredible shear company. I've used their shears my entire career. They are very, very reliable at a seriously good price point for the quality of material. It's all handmade in Japan. A lot of companies like to outsource their work to Korea, Taiwan, and they'll use Japanese steel, but it won't be made in Japan. Washi actually makes all of their shears in Japan, which I just feel like it has that little extra bit of handmade quality to it. So just like we did on the other side, we'll take that small section from the front, comb it down, create that graphic edge, just the tip of the shears, point cutting slightly. So we're adjusting the hand position, but we're still gonna point cut. And really just cleaning up the front here, preserving that length he's been growing out. And this sectioning that I'm doing, I mean, it's just kind of a looser diagonal back sectioning. And then I just over direct to the previous section and use that previous section as a guide as I cut.
He doesn't look it right. But if you knew it really needed that penny.
Excellent. And so yeah, we'll connect that back later with some texture. I'm gonna dry off the sides a little bit, and we'll go through and kind of point cut and cross-check all the sectioning. So now to break up this weight a little bit and to give it some flow, we're just gonna use some directional surface cutting. Some slide cutting, I should say. And we're just gonna slide. And I'm just gently moving the blade with my thumb to create that direction so that when his hair is just sitting there naturally, it'll favor this direction. It'll want to just do this. And this is how we're going to connect the mullet part as well, just into that top with texture. And now I'm just going to elevate these sections slightly and point cut into them.
You want something here?
No, I'm just gonna throw a helmet on. I just wanted to know.
And then I just want to break up this line a little. So I'm going to do that same slide cutting, but just into that perimeter. I think that'll be good. And now we'll just do that exact same thing on the other side here. I'm just going to flip the shears over into a different hand position for this side. The other option for doing this would just be go at it like this, but I find that to be a little strenuous on the wrist. It's much easier to just flip it. And then just right through the center, do a little deep point cutting into that length. A lot of people want to just go in there with thinning shears to do this sort of thing. And that's really not necessary. It's a little more time consuming to do it this way. But if you're going fast and not explaining everything, you can actually do it pretty dang quick. And look at all that like great texture he has now because of all of that. And so now, you were wanting the front to still be kind of textured, kind of like the way mine is.
Yeah.
Like
I found
shorter
it's getting
and-
a little bit longer and it kind of flops over and it's
Yeah,
just a little
cool.
harder to maintain.
Well, we'll shorten the front, give it good texture, take all this bulky weight out of the back here, and you'll be solid. So I'm just gonna start in the very back by taking a radial section, combing all that hair back. All right, and then just look down for me a bit. We'll take a profile section here. let's go ahead and connect all of this together with some point cutting. Ooh, I love what we're about to do right here. Just take this big, heavy corner off. Knock that corner out just like that. Yeah, man, the lighting, just to cut hair in this lighting is incredible, man. I'm thankful every day that I no longer work in a basement. I used to work in this shop that was just a refinished basement, and the fluorescent light was like not even like 4 inches above my head. And I was just, and I'm a tall guy too, so I was just, I wore a hat every single day because I was worried that that fluorescent light was gonna like poison me or something, dude. I was like, there's no way having your head this close to a fluorescent light is healthy. Just taking, sectioning off this corner right here just above where that original horseshoe line was. And I'm just connecting everything with point cutting, taking out the heavier corner, connecting the sides to the top, giving it a square, more square shape that will break up later with texture, of course. So now we're just going to take big radials across the top and point cut all that the length that we cut on the sides into the top. Now connect everything. We'll be careful right there in the front. We want to preserve the length in the corners while diminishing the length from the center. I think that length's going to work for us really well. Let's just make sure it's going to connect through the back here. Yeah, we'll shorten that. We'll go through the center here, shorten all of that, cross-check everything. And now I'm just going through and really just adding lots of texture to the ends by just kind of visually taking out some weight, point cutting. Again, you know, not using the thinning shear, which is so many people's go-to tool for this type of cut. And just rough drying the hair like this will really help bring out that texture. And by having that salt spray in there from the initial, using it as like a cutting agent, you know, we're able to get a little bit of hold and lift without putting any extra product in the hair. It's looking good, man. I'm just gonna break that up with a little bit more texture. Some deep parallel point cutting there. Pretty awesome, my guy. Also a Beardbrand product. Just a light, matte, creamy styling balm.
Very possible. Very possible. I don't
Realistically, too, I just accept that. I looked into it actually.
So we can really see now with the product in the hair, the texture defined. You know, he has such fine hair, it's hard to really see all that texture until you do style it some. And then it's like, as soon as the product touches the hair though, it's like instantly there. So yeah, we've got that nice graphic edge, everything coming back into this length. You're fine.
Trying to sneak through.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.